Change can be good or it can be bad. We all know that there are people out there that are barely surviving, but we also know that there's people out there that are thriving. What's the difference? That's exactly what I want to speak to today. And now before I do, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Ian Marsh and I help people become successful business consultants, and I also consult to a handful of private business owners as well. So today what I want to talk about is the impact of these crazy things that have been happening on business today. I'm just going to share a few simple tweaks and ideas with you that shows you how you change the game, and so you don't necessarily have to survive, you can really thrive in these tough times. So how do you take advantage of this? Well, first what I'd like to do is get us to have a look at the impact of what's going on. I just took a bit of a drive down the road this morning, had nothing better to do early in the morning, so I had a look at what was going on down at the surface, and it broke my heart to tell you the truth. I mean, all of the stores that are closed, all of the businesses, and we're talking not just restaurants and things that you would expect that are pretty tough, we're talking all sorts of businesses. And so with that in mind, that's what motivated me to talk about this today. With a few small tweaks, a certain number of these businesses could have pretty well still been thriving today. So how is this possible when the world's changed, when things are going crazy? How is it possible to thrive? Well, there's two things that people are doing right now, and I want you to think about this and put some comments in down below if any of these have impacted your business, the things that have been happening, because I'd love to see them. But what I really want you to consider are two mindsets that are really occurring right now with all this change. You've got certain people that go, oh my God, with all these things going on, how am I going to get through all of this? It's impossible. And they stick their head in the sand. And as a result, obviously, there are consequences because they've been doing things the same way for the last 30 or 40 years, and things have been going well for them, and all of a sudden the game has changed and they're not ready for it. And yet you've got other people that have made necessary improvements in their knowledge level or got right people on the team, and they've managed to transition into this digital world, which has in many cases opened up a whole new world and a whole heap of opportunities to people. So my question to you is, which camp do you lie in? So I'll give you a bit of an example here of another store that I was shocked that it had closed. So this is another store. This is on one of the busiest roads on the Gold Coast, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute massive exposure, and looks like the company was called Bags to Go. All right, now I'm curious, put in the comments, is there something there that you don't see on all the signage? Okay, is there something that you could have easily added to this signage where hundreds of thousands of vehicles go to each day that might have prompted an action without people having to go into the store? Well, of course there is. Have a look at the top. How easily would it have been to say, free gift, go to, and then WW Bags to Go? I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of vehicles could have seen that and easily gone to a website that was created and then from there taken action? It was a huge opportunity missed. And that's my point, ladies and gentlemen, is for those of you that are not exactly thriving right now, change can be good, even though it doesn't seem like it. Right now it might be scary. Right now you need to embrace new ideas. The impact of not embracing it again, like I said, is really hazardous to your wealth. If you take this action, and it's perfectly understanding why some will, but if you take that action, I mean, the consequences will be devastating because your competitors are not sitting still, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do as business consultants, and this is what our role is to help you stay ahead of the competition and to understand how to utilize these new strategies and come to grasp with them. And also for you to understand that you don't have to know the buttons to press to get the benefits from it. You just need to know the right people to go to get the benefit of what you need done. Okay, so it's not really the how. Okay, you don't need the how to create a fantastic website. You just need to know who to go to create a website, or who to go to get the best guidance on transitioning into this new economy. So I guess the point is, ladies and gentlemen, where I want you to come from is that right now there are people profiting in these crazy times, and you should be a part of it. And instead of saying, I don't know what to do or I can't, just start saying, how can I? And if you'd like some help doing that, well, understand I'm happy to have a conversation with you and share some ideas with you while I have time in my calendar. And all you need to do is click the link. I've put it up there or down there. You can check it out while I have places available in my calendar. And it actually reminds me of a client that I saw many years ago when another big change was happening. Okay, so I'll tell you this story. They rang me up because they said, Ian, our profits have dropped about 30%. Can you help? So I went down and I had a look at the business, and it was a video store. And they'd been making good profits for a long, long time. You know the story, renting out the DVDs and even the Blu-rays, etc. But what had happened was technology was getting ahead of them, and people were not renting the DVDs anymore because it was at the time when you could start to get a lot of things downloaded off the torrent, so you could get to watch movies for free online. I know my son was. And so I said, listen, you have to change, mate. If you don't change, there's going to be consequences. Right now, my son is playing these Xbox video games, and he's not getting off. He's staying there for 5 or 6 hours. How can you get your hand on these games and rent these games out and start to transition into a game store instead of just a movie store? Now, sadly, the person did not listen to me, and I went back there a few years later, and the shop was closed, all gone, and I asked the people a few doors down what happened, and they said, well, sadly, the person lost their business and lost their house, and they lost their wife, and sadly, that happens a lot when these turbulent times occur. So I say again, it is really hazardous to your wealth not to embrace the change that's coming, okay? And not to go, not to actually see, well, how can I take advantage of this? How can I make the most of what's going on out there? Because I promise you this, ladies and gentlemen, there are opportunities out there for you and your business, and they're just waiting for you to be picked up. So if you'd like to have a chat and see if there might be some ideas that I can help you come up with for you to take your business through and take advantage of these new times, happy to have a conversation with you. Again, I am looking for a few new clients at the moment, and when I do have them, then these free conversations will disappear. But until then, have a look at what I do. Go to the link down below or up above, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you, see if I may be able to assist. All right, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, embrace the change and make sure you're not just putting your head in the sand hoping it'll all disappear, because it won't. Okay, till next time.